Hello everyone and welcome back to Mod Monday, where I lay out some short reviews for the coolest and only the coolest mods of the week. This week is going to be a bit different from previous ones, as I'm going to be describing some skins I used through these mods. And at the end of the video, while I'm giving my weekly mod maker advice, I'm going to be running clips from a new category called shidd. The mods in this category will range from not quite cool to absolutely terrible. So here is a list of updated categories for this video. Skins. Sick, dude. Really cool. Cool. And shidd. And I might as well just come out right now and say it, there were no sick dude mods this week. I know, that sucks, but some of the really cool mods were just shy of being a sick dude mod. And who knows, maybe with a little tweaking, they could be in the sick dude category next week. The Lugar skin is cool, it has sounds to go along with it, and it's modeled well. The only annoying thing about this skin is that the clips don't stand out enough from the environment. They're very skinny, and they don't glow at all, so you can easily pass them over. The Halo Magnum M6D skin for the pistol was fun to use, especially in a map like Stargate Universe. The clips don't display a bullet on top, so you can't tell if a mag is full or empty. And it's almost impossible to aim with this thing. You're pretty much relying on hip fire the entire time. The Halo 3 ODST-M6C/SOCOM pistol skin was my favorite pistol skin to use so far this week. The clips glow, so they're easy to spot. It has sort of a punchy laser sound to it, and it looks absolutely sick with the laser sight on it. The Browning high power skin is a decent skin at best, and it sounded really nice. It doesn't show bullets in the clips, and the clips don't glow. Because of the textures on this skin, I found it quite difficult to aim down sights with. But I'm going to go back to the sound and say that it was really nice to listen to. So here we go straight into really cool. Goldeneye 64 Facility is a really well done Goldeneye remake. It reflects the original level design almost exactly, and it even starts the map the same way the original did. I do have a few major gripes with this mod, the biggest being that I did not enjoy having to pick up ammo and other items from the map. I would have much preferred just to have all the ammo or some kind of auto pickup so that I could just focus on shooting enemies and go guns a-blazing. One other big thing I didn't like is that I couldn't hear the original soundtrack, which took away from the immersion quite a bit. I know I could just put it on in the background, but if they could implement it into the mod, it would be just right. And the last gripe that I have is that I was expecting a big fight at the end, but it just kind of ends with nothing in that big open room. Either way, I definitely recommend this, especially to those of you who played this as kids, which I'm pretty sure is almost all of you. I reviewed Stargate Universe Escape to Destiny last week, and today I'm happily upgrading it from cool to really cool. The creator of the mod messaged me and let me know that some of my complaints had been resolved. And I have to say that not only were the problems resolved, but I had a lot of fun this time. The large dome with the plants in the bottom was particularly fun, and this section of the map wasn't even half working the last time I played it. So even if you're not familiar with or don't like Stargate, I still recommend this one because it is a lot of fun to play. Half Life 2 D2_prison_04 gets a 0_ out of 10_ for its name, but a solid 8 out of 10 for the recreation of this famous Half-Life 2 map. If you're a fan of Half-Life 2, you'll definitely want to play this, but if you're not a fan of Half-Life 2, you'll still probably want to play it. Though it lacks any spirit or story, the gameplay is really fun, and the level design blends pretty well with VR. My only complaint with this mod is that it ended suddenly, right into a frozen loading screen which I had to exit the game from. The Lost Case 2. I'll come right out and say it. I didn't enjoy it as much as I did the first one, and it didn't have anywhere near the level of polish that the first one did either. There were quite a few imperfections with the combat and aesthetics, and the frames per second didn't hold up so well in many parts of the level. So enough with the criticisms. You might be wondering, why is this in the really cool section? And to that I say that you can tell that there was a lot of love put into this mod. The small details that tell a story about the inhabitants of the apartment complex is a cool feature that I don't see in many other maps. Details such as the hammer and nails on the lower shelf in this room. It's obvious that the woman, who is now dead, used the hammer and nails to board up the door, and she also had some lit candles, which suggests that she wanted to stay in there and hide for a while. And it's also creepy, but there's a lady hunched over a crib with what looks like some rat poison and a dead baby. Or at least what is supposed to be a baby. Ugh. So that was kind of a long-winded review, but I felt like it was necessary coming from my earlier praise of the first chapter. The Desolated Office is a typical map that you would find to be well polished, but lacking inspiration. I enjoyed the concrete and monochrome atmosphere, as well as the boxy level design. It's simple, it looks nice, and the combat is well paced. It just doesn't have a believable storyline for that combat. This is just a perfect example of a simple and basic map done well. It does do something that bothers me in other mods, which is to place some combine in a big open room with no cover and no interesting architecture. Blop 17 Emergent is like the classic COD Zombies mode. You can buy doors and ammo with credits that you earn through killing zombies. Everything operates by buttons, and you can rebuild barriers by throwing the wooden planks into the windows. This is a little janky as I fumbled with the planks quite a few times. It seems that they're not fully maneuverable with one hand. The game is a bit slow for the first few minutes, but you'll start getting overwhelmed once you open another door. The map is currently only one small loop, and I would love to see this expanded. It's designed really well, with interesting objects and architecture, but not too overwhelming to look at. It's a wave-based game mode, so there is no end, and I died about 20 minutes in on the 10th wave. My one major complaint with this mod is that the amount of ammo that you can carry has a cap, but if you buy more ammo when you're at 55 out of 60 bullets, it appears to take the full 600 credits, and you only get 5 bullets in exchange. Small oil rig barely made it into the really cool, but I'm comfortable including it here. It's supposedly a remake of Rust's oil rig, which I've never played, and I love the simple design and well-paced combat. I did find it to be quite difficult, which is actually one aspect that I loved about it. I think this map and pace works well with the added challenge of limited ammo, and so you'll want to aim for heads and gas canisters in order to conserve it. I never managed to kill all of the enemies on my 2 playthroughs, but I think I'll give it another shot later. A lot of maps out there are too easy by giving you too much ammo and health and being very sectioned off by rooms, allowing you to disengage easily. While some maps are unnecessarily difficult by not giving you enough cover and throwing too many enemies at you at once. This map gets it just right with an almost perfect balance. On top of all this, the map just runs really well. Combine Intervention is the quintessential mod for the really cool category. It has a simple corridor level design with a pretty standard but slow combat pacing. My favorite part about this map was the beginning, where I was faced with 2 zombies but no weapon to fight them with. This is such a nice change of pace because every other mod just wants to throw you straight into combat. I generally enjoy the overall puzzle of using keycards to get through doors, however it became annoying towards the end. You'll likely only get about 10 minutes of playtime out of this, but it's a pretty good 10 minutes. Rayman 2: The Woods was a surprisingly cool experience. I'll go ahead and say that there's not much to do here, if anything at all. But it did stimulate my nostalgia for the old days. But while I didn't play Rayman as a child, I did play other games that were very similar to it, like Spyro. And it got me thinking how cool it would be to replay those games in VR. Before playing this mod, I would have said that would be a stupid idea. But there was actually something satisfying about being in this low-res world, full of color and imagination. Escape Room: The Office is a great mod for you mystery lovers out there. You're placed in a traditional looking room with no hints as to what to do next, and you just look around for things that you can interact with. I did find a couple of indicators that I was on the right track, but I did not find my way out, and in fact, I was nowhere near finding my way out, I suspect. It took me about 20 minutes before I just gave up. Despite that, this one makes it into the cool category because I like these little things. It was just a little bit too difficult for me. It's also fairly unique to the mod scene so far. The Shookening is supposed to be a horror map, and though it did get me pretty damn good with one jump scare, that's about it. The house is kind of creepy, but there's not a lot to explore, and I would love to see this expanded upon, maybe something similar to Luigi's Mansion. Antlion Arena is a tower defense mod, in which your teammates are Combine and the enemies are Antlions. There is not infinite ammo, and your Combine teammates can and will die very easily. I had no idea what I was getting myself into at the start of this round, and I accidentally shot most of my teammates. Despite that, I was able to make it most of the way to the end, up until the point I ran out of ammo. Hazard Course is just so very close to being a really cool mod. I did enjoy the funky level design, and it was decently polished. The combat with the headcrabs and the zombies was a bit sporadic and random, so it wasn't quite to my taste. And I died falling off of an object in the map. Okay, no biggie, not all mods are perfect, but I was about 15 minutes into this mod only to find out that there was no autosave backed up. So guess what I did? I just quit. So now is a good time to introduce an ongoing element to these videos. Anytime a mod breaks a cardinal sin, such as not putting autosaves, I'm going to roll this devastating clip.
Bad mod. Bad mod. Bad. Shame on you. Get out of here.
And that's it for the coolest mods of this week. This week's mod maker advice is to please put some freaking autosaves in the game. If your mod is anywhere near more than 5 minutes, you need autosaves. You're just going to piss people off if they die and have to go all the way back to the beginning. Nuff said. That's it for this Monday. Let me know if you enjoyed this week's video, and until the next one, we'll be seeing you.